I've started on YouTube, left, then restarted more times than I care to remember since my very first video back on March the 31st, 2016. My YouTube journey has been a roller coaster thanks to several issues, such as having no direction with my creativity, lack of time at times, burnout, and a big fat dollop of low confidence in my creativity and my writing. But I've clung on. I keep coming back to YouTube, and I've now been monetized since 2020 and have been uploading consistently this time around since the end of August 2023. And since the beginning of October, I changed my strategy from one video a week on a Sunday to two on a Wednesday and a Sunday, which has made a fairly decent impact on my views and my earnings. I'm currently a very small YouTuber. Had I stayed consistent since March of 2016, I may be in a completely different position now, but I currently have 4,400 subscribers, around 11,000 views in a 28-day period, and about 1,000 hours of watch time in a month. Currently, this brings me in around £60 a month, but this has increased from £10 a month, which is what I was getting earlier this year, and my RPM is around £5 per 1,000 views. I'm happy to talk about all of that in a future video, but for now I want to talk about my experiences with YouTube as a writer and how a change in perspective is making me more consistent. So back in 2016, I was heavily into Instagram. I've talked a lot about this before. I would post every day, and these pictures would consist of baking, my chickens, my ducks, books, and all of that sort of thing. It had a kind of slow living kind of vibe. Some of the photographs would take me an entire day to create. I was busy, but not productive. My account on Instagram was growing, but I didn't know what to do with it. I had a few sponsored posts, but wasn't making lots of money, as I felt guilty about including advertising. I joined Instagram initially because I wanted to grow my platform as a writer. I'd been rejected in previous years by publishers simply because I didn't have a TV presence, and so I decided to grow a presence on social media instead. The thing is, I was so busy building a platform, I forgot to write. Because of Instagram, I was also increasingly interested in video. Previously telling myself I didn't have the skills to create videos, I booked myself on an online course and absolutely loved it. I enjoyed capturing video footage of my chickens and ducks, my dog, my cat, and the seasons, and setting it all to music. When Instagram stories began, I created 15 or 30-second vertical videos as well. It became part of my morning routine. I shied away from YouTube a lot in those early days because I was scared. Scared of being shown to a much bigger audience, scared of getting the thumb down, and scared of being trolled. I thought the commenting on YouTube towards creators at times was absolutely devastating. My confidence was low enough with my writing, and I didn't believe I could cope with that. But I enjoyed a different way of expressing myself with video and kept dipping my toe back in. I was also interested in the fact I could make money from my videos. I think I earned a few pence originally, and I was thrilled, but then YouTube changed their policy and you had to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in a year. I had nothing like that Absolutely nothing like that. Even with a fairly big Instagram audience, I think I nearly had, at my most, I had around 18,000 followers on Instagram. But even with that, I was nowhere near what I needed to get to be monetized on YouTube. And I believed I would never get to that level because of the aforementioned low confidence. But over the course of 2019, I uploaded a video every single month. Sometimes it was 8. On one occasion, it was just the one. I think that was in the summer. But on average, I uploaded around 5 videos a month. I decided to go for it, and my goal was to become monetized. I continued to upload at the beginning of 2020 until finally on Saturday the 4th of April, woohoo, I was monetized. This was a really big moment for me, but I didn't realize it at the time because it was COVID and because it had taken nearly a month for YouTube to approve my channel for monetization. And I was beginning to be all dramatic about it, thinking they'd forgotten about me. But for the first time in my creative life, I'd had a specific goal and worked out a way of getting there through tiny steps until I hit my target. This differed dramatically to how I used to spend my creative days, just sort of fanning about and doing whatever came to mind and not really producing much. I've subsequently used this tiny step strategy in my writing projects as well, with great results. But anyway, I hit monetization, then uploaded my final video of 2020 on May the 20th. I decided YouTube wasn't worth my time after all that work. Now I was monetized, I realised I was only earning a few pence per video and I had ambitions for a membership club. Time-wise, I just couldn't do both. And my writing projects as well at the same time, something had to give. As YouTube wasn't paying me much, I said goodbye to that. And I know how crazy that sounds when I'd worked so hard to become monetized. It was almost like, okay, I've done that, reached the target, and now it doesn't interest me anymore. But I think I know the reason for that, which I'll come onto shortly. I came back in February 2021 to YouTube, but it was sporadic. In 2022, I was making videos a bit more, and then I decided to give shorts a go in September 2022. Then I burned out with my membership club until we came back to August of this year, 2023, when I decided to make YouTube one of my big 3 projects again. And this time I was approaching it differently. Firstly, even though earning money was important to me, it's not my main driver. Being monetized was my main goal for so long, and I'd not thought beyond that. I didn't realize once I'd met my monetization goal, I needed to do a mental shift, because now I was starting a new project. Even though it was still YouTube, mentally it was a new project. Instead of becoming monetized, my project was now to increase my earnings on YouTube. I hadn't factored in that I was now starting something new. Recently, my income from YouTube has increased, and it's exciting to see the lines going up. And I would love to earn a decent income from AdSense in the future, but I need to look beyond that. This time I'm creating the videos I want to create instead of thinking what I should be creating to get more views, to get more watch time, subscribers and income. I guess you could say I'm more myself this time around. It's important I enjoy it and I don't just fixate on goals. So secondly, I've been on a big positive journey with my writing and my mindset concerning my low confidence and my limited self-belief when it comes to writing and creating. And I've really seen big changes over the past 3 or 4 years. The reason why I was so obsessed with Instagram was because I was avoiding the writing, something that really scared me. It's important that I now see myself, first and foremost, as a writer, not an Instagrammer, not a YouTuber, or a mentor. My main project is writing a book, and both YouTube and my Substack come after that. This has helped me view the content on my channel differently. I am a writer. Therefore, I share videos about me being a writer. Yes, I still do how-to videos or videos with specific topics and advice like this one, but I'm not racking my brains every week for something too different because, in the words of Austin Kleon, I can simply show my work. The ups, the downs, the struggles, of which there are many, and the wins. And this is enough. By showing my work, it helps clarify things for myself. It gives me motivation and momentum. And from the comments I've received recently, it also inspires others. I do it for myself first, and if it inspires others, then fantastic. But I don't start with the aim to inspire, because if I did, I would freeze up, my mind would empty, and any thoughts I had would disintegrate. Elizabeth Gilbert says she wrote Eat, Pray, Love for herself in the book Big Magic, which she also wrote for herself. And this is why both have been so engaging and inspiring with others. It's not a dry how-to or self-help book. I aim to do the same with my writing and my videos by referencing my own creative journey a lot. Related to the above, each video doesn't have to be something different. As a writer, I tell stories, and I do this in my videos as well as in my writing. Other creators create videos of their life in New York, for example, or share their lives as new mums or behind the scenes of their job. I do the same, but from a much smaller world, my writing space, right here. I like to see it as stories from my desk. Fourthly, on a practical note, I don't worry too much about the equipment I use. I get confused by my actual camera, and this was stopping me from creating. So I use my iPhone, which I find a lot easier, or the camera on my Mac, although today I am trying out my new webcam. I don't quite know how it's going to turn out, but it's an experiment. Sometimes the quality of the camera on my Mac isn't great, but I'm still learning, still getting comfortable talking to the camera. Things will improve in time, but in my time and not at a pace I'm not comfortable with. And then I also write scripts now, and I use a free teleprompter to read them, and this is why I use my Mac or this webcam to record. I don't just wing it. It helps me keep on topic, cuts the waffle, and makes the editing so much easier and quicker. Editing used to take me ages, but now if I have a tight video, it can take a couple of hours at most. This helps keep my stress levels low and enables me to do more than one video per week. There's a lot of advice out there telling new YouTubers what they should be doing. This is all quite loud advice and feels like a lot of pressure to get things right immediately. You really don't need to get things right immediately. Allow yourself the possibility that you might mess up. Try different things, experiment, show your face if you want to, don't if you don't want to. But don't feel you have to know what you're doing or where you're going or what your niche is and so on before you start. Just start by recording something you enjoy and something you enjoy talking about. I started by recording my chickens, my ducks, the mornings, the seasons. I didn't start by talking to camera. I didn't start by recording my work. I didn't start by doing time lapses of my writing. I started by something that I was more comfortable with, perhaps because I wasn't showing my face, I was outdoors, and I was showing something that wasn't me. You have to start somewhere. And finally, Once you're comfortable with it, show your work. I know I've already said it, but I can't emphasize it enough. Talk about your writing. It's fascinating, even if you don't think so. You don't have to reinvent the wheel each time you create a video, but start where you're comfortable and then work from there.